defenses. There are a variety of body grabs. I actually want to start with a drill that is really not intentionally meant to coincide with what Rob was talking about earlier, but does anybody know if you're getting grabbed in a body grab, what might be, from a self-defense perspective, one of the things or one of the first things that you're concerned about if you're getting a body grab of any kind?
Getting lifted up.
Lifted up, which might mean that they're taking you to a
secondary location.
Secondary location, which is bad. No secondary locations. So if somebody grabs you in a body grab, if I can borrow somebody, well, let's do Kobe because that's, slightly more realistic. Let's say, let's use bear hug as a great example. He might pick me up in a bear hug and now I'm off the floor. Oh no, I don't know who's taking me. Maybe it's not a bear hug, maybe he grabs my wrist. That's also a body grab, but he's pulling me away somewhere I don't want to go, into an alley. Maybe he grabs my hair. Also, he might be pulling me away into an alley. And when this is happening, right, what I do not have is my base, right? I don't have any weight on the ground, or maybe he's dragging me, right? I have no choice but to sort of go with him. So the first drill that we're just going to work from a variety of grabs, bear hugs, hair pulls, wrist grabs, held grabs, like anything where somebody might be grabbing you, your body, taking you away, or that also includes headlocks. The first thing that I want to practice is getting some sort of footing back underneath you or some sort of base. So in the event of a bear hug from behind where he lifts me off the ground, right, I'm gonna kick out, get my feet on the ground, get my weight nice and low. If he's pulling my hair and he's dragging me somewhere, you can drag lightly, not too hard, right? I might just think about getting a grip on him and again sinking my weight down into the ground so he isn't pulling me somewhere. If it's a lapel grab, same thing. Maybe he's pulling me, and if it's like a little, maybe you need a little distraction too, right? And something just to get your feet. If the person's moving you, you want to stop moving, and you want to be on the ground with both of your feet underneath you, and that's going to be drill number one. So an attacker can use a variety of grabs. Doesn't have to be one, right? We will only focus on defenses from a couple of grabs, but for this drill, experiment with some different ones. Getting lifted off the ground, getting dragged away, from behind, from in front, hair pulls, things like that, headlocks. Okay. Questions? Okay, let's find a partner. I would encourage you to go not with someone your same size or stature on this one. You can, but or being taken or whatever. So the purpose of that was to hopefully just get your weight underneath you again and feel that base so that we can work on some defenses from there. Okay, we're going to focus on a couple of specific defenses. We practice a lot of bear hugs and headlocks and things, so we're going to choose a couple different ones today and do something that we maybe practice less. Almost conveniently enough, almost all of us in the room have long hair. Not everybody, but most of us do. So we're going to start with some hair grab defenses. May I borrow a partner? Doesn't really matter. I'll use Will, I suppose. So hair grabs. There's a couple different ways your hair can be grabbed. They can do the nice comb through method where they really ruin your ponytail and get their fingers gripped. If you have a ponytail, maybe they just grab the ponytail or the knot and drag you away. We'll do a couple different ones, but the one we're going to start with is from the front. So Will is going to very nicely comb into my hair and grab my hair against my scalp and really mess up my ponytail. Thank you. Comb. Will, yes, comb, yeah. So you want to feel, it's not going to feel great, but you want to feel some tension on your scalp or else you won't really get the full effect of the hair pull. And let's also say for the sake that Will's, maybe he's pushing my head down a little bit and maybe he's dragging me away by my hair, right? So the first thing, which we just practiced, is I need to stop him from dragging me or pulling me or pushing me down. So I am going to firstly just clasp my hands onto his, right? And my feet, you can see they're wide. I'm kind of low because he is taller than me and above me. Okay, so once I have my hands clasped, in order to loosen up his grip a little bit, I'm gonna knock on the top of his, on the back of his palm, right on the top of his hand, on those nice tendons and muscles that are really gonna be sensitive and hurt when I knock. And I'm knocking, you know, this is mean, so I'm not gonna do it too hard, but I wanna do it enough so that he is kind of feeling it and that I have a sense for practicing, right? So grab, knock to kind of loosen, and from here, I'm gonna start to turn and step in. At this point, he might still be grabbing onto my hair. He might not be if I've loosened his grip. I wanna stand up. Don't mind the hair. I'm gonna stand out of that. And what I've got now is his wrist folded, and I'm in an arm bar as well. I'm kind of leaning, keeping his wrist and his arm way above his head and his shoulder, and putting weight down on that arm bar. Again, and then I'll fix my ponytail.
Yeah.
So he's combed into my hair, he's grabbed it, maybe he's pulling me away, especially if he's pulling away from my scalp. I want to get those hands down quick. I do not want him to pull my hair out. All right, so I've grabbed, I'm gonna knock to start to encourage him to let go. I'm gonna step through, and then if I can, I probably want to pull that hand out. If he's still holding on, you can still do this. It's going to be harder to see, but I'm still just putting weight down on this elbow and trying to keep his wrist way above the shoulder and get him low so that he can't stand up out of that.
Can you do it once rotated
Like,
180?
yes. This
180 or?
Yeah, 180. There we go.
All right, so he'll grab. I can be, he's pulling me away. I don't like that. I'm gonna grab, I'm gonna knock, loosen up that grip, step through, and I'm gonna apply this wrist fold and this arm bar to start.
Step into the direction that his thumb is going to go. Is that?
Yes, I'm stepping across with my back foot, so because I want to start to turn this elbow up.
Yes.
I don't know if that's the direction, I guess you could say. But any questions? Okay. People without hair.
Partner would be too.
What's that?
People without hair.
Yeah, if you don't have hair, let's see, Brandon. Okay, a couple pointers on this. So, don't grab me too hard, but just pretend that you grabbed and I'm here. A couple things that might help get you into this arm bar position here. Using a free hand to guide the elbow, right? I'm turning into him from the outside and I'm stepping across. Using this hand to guide the elbow over will help. Once I'm here, I don't want to like crush his hand in too much like that. I want to try and keep it pretty flat and just bend in. And then this arm bar, the positioning of it, I'm watching people have some weird grips, right? I'm using my rib cage to lean into this arm, and I'm using the free arm to wrap and drop some weight first down, and then what you can also do, because if you get too far down, he'll start to turn out. Also, you can go a little bit backwards. So I'm using this arm to do a couple things. One, to keep him wrapped into my body so I have control and he can't start to fight and bend and do whatever, right? To keep this arm nice and straight. I'm using it to drop weight down, and then I'll also use it to rotate back, not rotate, but just drive back a little bit to keep him from turning out.
Defense involves ceding something, as in ceding control. So would it be safe to say that you cede a little bit of control in order to start getting control of that arm, in order to get that bar?
I would not say so. I would say that you first want to get more control and then start manipulating that person. The reason this is going to work, the main principles at play here, base and posture, right? We talked, right? So, especially if you're leaning over of some kind, right? You want base, you want posture, and then pain compliance. These are joint lock defenses, or this is a joint lock defense, right? We're aiming to, right, apply wrist locks, arm bars, that's pain compliance. So that's what we're going for here.
I have no
So just
clue what I'm
gross,
thinking.
like, movements and steps without thinking about, right, loosening the hand or guiding the elbow are not gonna work. So we're not ceding control. We want to gain control. First by making sure our feet are underneath us, and then secondarily by applying these techniques. Does that answer your question?
I have no clue even what I'm saying. I think
Oh,
I'm
no.
out of depth.
Okay, that's totally fine. We're gonna add one more little finisher to this, and then we'll go into something else. Can I borrow somebody? It's not that fancy, it's just a nice finish off, because if we're gonna fight somebody, we only wanna fight them once. So Will's gonna grab me. Okay, so right now, I don't really have posture, so maybe I wanna sink low a little bit. Now I've got my base is low, I can start to step up into this wrist fold, get his hands out of my hair. And the last thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna take this person to the ground. We're gonna do that by first, I'm gonna use my forearm to push into his tricep. First push him that way to off balance him, and then drag him the other way. And now he's on the ground. And from here, if I wanna finish my submission, I can just apply this same fold that I had. I don't know, keep my forearm into his tricep and get some pressure points. Put his arm against his back and clear out. And that's just to make sure he's not gonna do anything else. I wanna kind of wrap this up and make sure that he's not gonna stand up on me once I let him go. If I haven't broken the elbow, maybe I haven't. So let me do that one more time. Let's just go from here. Yeah. All right, so I've got the fold and the elbow. I'm gonna first step diagonally to my left and then diagonally forward to my right to pull him flat onto the ground. And then if you wanna get a nice little finish off down there before clearing out. Questions? All right, one more time. Not me, you guys one more time. Thank you. Right, moves that won't work against someone who is bigger and stronger than you, right? These sort of wrist locks and joint locks are designed to work against bigger people. And if you're just going pound for pound, I could just turn this arm over, you know, that might not work. Okay, on to the next. May I borrow a partner? Will, thank you. Okay, so Will's gonna give me the same paragraph. Yep, nice and, yep, and that right in the scalp. Okay, same beginning principles apply. If he's pulling me or pushing my head down, yeah, I first want to recover, right, my base and my posture before I do anything, or else I won't be that effective. From here, instead of stepping across from the outside, I'm gonna step through on the inside. So I'm gonna step under, and I'm gonna spin all the way around. And I'm still kind of in my hair at this point. I might want to detangle myself and come up, and this is Sankyu, I believe, or
Inner wrist twist.
Inner wrist twist, which I can kind of have a couple ways. Because he was gripping my scalp, I have his hand flat, so what I might want to do is put my palm against his palm and then rotate inwards. If I am grabbing with the opposite hand, I still want to keep this palm flat. If I've lost the flatness of his hand, that's fine. I just want to keep his wrist, it can be in line with his forearm, and I'm using my Hapkido fingers to grip around the thick part of his hand and still just twisting in. So this, whichever way you have it at the end, is okay. But the important part is this 90 degrees and that you're attacking the wrist. Okay, again, same grab, make it realistic. He's pushing my head down, he's maybe pulling, this hurts my scalp. I'm gonna base and posture, I'm gonna step through and spin myself around best as I can, and you can see I use that other arm to guide. At this point, I really, if he's grabbing on, that's fine. If I can get him loose, that's fine too. It's virtually almost the same. Okay, questions? Alrighty, get with a partner, give that a try. Borrow will, just give me a nice fake grab. So a couple things to think about that will help you get this lock a little quicker. You know, you want to keep this arm in a fairly static position, or not static, but it's not one where I want to go like this, right, and like move his arm a lot. I'm trying to duck under a little bit and keep this arm and maybe reach through and guide that elbow. And then maybe I'll stand up. The other thing is I can start, because I've got a grip here, I can start this rotation on the wrist and this guide of the elbow before I step through. And hopefully that will start to hurt him a little bit. And so as I step through, it becomes even tighter. The other thing is, once I'm here, it's possible people are going to react differently to things. As much as I can, I want to keep this arm in 90 degrees, but maybe he's rotated far and I'm all the way through here, or, you know, that's fine. Now I'm just in a hammer lock, right, if he's decided to rotate more or fight this. The other thing is, I don't know that I would brace this arm against my chest too much. I think that sort of limits the rotation you can get on the wrist. I think it still works, but I keep it fairly free. I either, you know, if I have the palm against palm, I'm just holding the elbow, or if I have his wrist like so, I'm holding it free. I find that works quicker. Somebody can correct me on that, but I feel like it's the wrist, but you know, you need that rotation. If I'm holding this, I don't know, I just feel like it doesn't work as effective. But okay, and the last thing we are going to add to this, just to finish this one off nicely, right base posture. I'm going to start my turn, I'm going to step underneath, rotate around, pull his hands out, apply my inner wrist twist, and then I'm going to finish off with a hammer lock, and I don't know, pull back and figure out what's happening.